All right, all right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Prophet John here. Hope you guys are doing well. Man, the markets are still looking bad. We just saw the Fed a couple of hours ago pumping, injecting money into the markets, trying to make it go green. And we actually went from down 500, down 500 points all the way up, and we were about maybe my butt of 60 points, and then I guess they ran out of money, and and everything just started to crash. As soon as the Feds run out of money, the markets just crash. The markets literally fell 400 points in like 1 hour, and so it's bad. You know what I mean? And the more they continue to put debt into the markets, the more the markets reject it, right? So before the markets were loving the debt. Now the markets are rejecting the debt. Every time the Feds pump money into the markets, that's the time to short, right? So basically, people see the Feds pumping money into the markets. They'll wait and they'll wait till the Feds are over, have are done, and then they will short the markets. And so I'm pretty sure a lot of people will short it right here, right here, right here. As soon as you see the pumping, and you know this because the markets go up so fast, you know, nobody is buying this market, knowing that the first quarter earnings are going to be historically bad. No one's buying this market. Okay. So when you see a pump like this and like this is the Fed pumping, and you move 400 points within 30 minutes. I mean, that is the Feds pumping, injecting billions of dollars into the markets. So people are just waiting for the Feds to be done, and then they just short the crap out of it, and then they make money. And so Goldman Sachs also this morning, once again, giving a warning to their investors and their clients to not buy this market. And Goldman Sachs is shorting the crap out of this market as well. So yeah, they said the first quarter earnings are going to be, disastrous, right? Many companies can't even work right now. We got many of the car companies and companies that get all their products from China or South Korea or Japan. I mean, they're being shut down right now, and so many companies can't even do their normal business. We have millions of businesses in China shut down. China's numbers are going to be horrendous, right? First quarter. So we have South Korea absolutely just getting nailed by infections now. We'll check out those numbers in a second, but it's just crazy, man. And you can see here, I mean, just bad news after bad news after bad news after bad news this morning. I was watching the headline on the news come in on the headline. This company downgraded. This company downgraded. This company downgraded. This company says first quarter earnings are going to be terrible. This company says first quarter earnings and second quarter earnings are going to be cut in half. This company says this. This company, it says everybody has bad news. Okay. So it says St. Louis Fed's Ballard says interest rate cuts possible if global pandemic actually develops. Okay. So the Feds are not yet willing to cut interest rates. Donald Trump wants negative interest rates. Well, negative interest rates will wipe out the middle class, but Donald Trump wants negative interest rate and he wants more debt. Okay. Not realizing that debt's the problem, Donald Trump. Debt is the problem, but the Feds don't care because the Feds love debt. That's the Feds, right? The Feds, the central banks, the fiat system. That's what they're all about. Debt. They love debt, right? The more debt, the more they own. They want to own everything, right? And they'll print money out of thin air to buy everything up, and that's what they're doing. They're buying everything up with the money printed out of thin air, and people are rejecting it now, right? Before we were allowing it to go all the way up to 30,000. Now people are rejecting the debt. The more they print, the more we sell. The more they print, the more we sell, right? And you can see that by all the CEOs that have suddenly just resigned and have gone poof. right? And they've taken their money and they're running. Okay, they like, oh no, this is not going to be good. I'm going to lose $30 billion. I'm going to lose, my whole earnings are going to be wiped out. I got to get out now, and I got to sell, and take my $600 million in stock money and bonuses and get out. And so that's what they're doing. And remember, if you're stuck as a CEO, you can't do that, right? You must own majority of the shares, right? You're the CEO, so majority of the share owner must be the CEO, or or you cannot be the CEO, right? So that's why they have to fire themselves. They have to quit so they can then dump all their shares, and that's what a lot of them have been doing. They've been quitting, dumping their shares, and getting out and making sure they have money, their money before the markets crash. Okay, so to me, we're at 24,000 right now. I still don't feel like this is a crash, even though we are coming down significantly since 29,000. But technically, we are crashing, but it's not doesn't feel crashing, right? It feel like we're just pulling back, right? Um, but maybe because we're so maybe because we're so I don't know what it is. I'm not sure why I don't feel like this is a crash. It just feels like we're pulling back, and but in reality this is a crash, right? But it doesn't seem like it because we're down 600 points and it doesn't seem like a crash. Something is not right. Something is like, I don't know what it is. We were down. We went down almost 1,200 points yesterday, which is the worst ever in history. Today we could literally go down today 1,500 to 2,500 points today, and then we will officially be in a crash. Okay, because if we go down 1,500 points a day, which would then set the new world record, then we are in a crash. Okay, and that means that the debt bubble has probably burst. Okay, and now people are selling the debt, and that's where the big problems come in. That's where we're going to see the 3,000 point drops and stuff, and stuff that we've never seen before in the history of mankind. If that's the case, but once again, the feds have not spoken yet. And I want to see the feds speak, because if the feds are like, okay, 60 to $80 billion isn't enough to be injected, well, we're going to go to 300 billion a day, right? And if they do something like that, then we need to wait to see how that happens, because we could see a correction. We could see a correction at 300 billion injected a day. We probably will see a correction, and then then the body, or the market will then reject the money, right? So it will then reject the debt like it's doing right now. So we could see a massive debt injection into the markets, that will push the markets back up a little bit, right? And then the markets will then start to not want that debt. They will, the yield curve will crash even more. The bond market, everything will start crashing, and because there's so much debt in the market, we would just absolutely then fall out the sky again. All right. So, but we could see, if the Fed speak out and say we're going to inject 300 billion into the markets, right? Or we're going to inject $3 trillion into the markets, we will see it then a rise in the market, right? Maybe back halfway, but then we're going to fall tremendously, because then the markets are not going to want the debt any longer, because everything else around it will be caving in and absolutely crashing. So that's what's going on. Um, and Yeah, that's what's going on, guys and girls. And they're trying to save this by printing, and it's just not working. How we're gonna get to 1,500 today? If the dollar comes right back here, if the dollar breaks 80, 98, watch out. You know what I mean? Because the dollar's even right now, and we're down 700 points, right? So that means that let me see. St. Louis Fed's rate cut on the table only if coronavirus becomes yeah, we already read that. All right, so we're down 650 right now, and the dollar's even. So if the dollar breaks 98 cents, that's when I think we're going to see 1,500 to 2,000 point drop in the Dow. Okay, because it seems like the dollar, when the dollar comes up, we kind of rally here for a second. Anyways, let's move on because this is giving us some problems now. Let's get into the coronavirus stuff here real quick and see what's going on. Okay, so we're still at, we're not, big numbers there, but we know these numbers are fake. They won't release the true numbers, and it's funny because Donald Trump talked about real news and not fake news, but yet he's saying that the Chinese are having getting everything situated, and their numbers are have stopped growing significantly. Donald Trump, this is fake numbers, right? Over probably 3 million people are infected in China, right? You know that over 200,000 people are dead, right? Right? You said that you didn't want, you talked about fake news and fake reporting, and now you're a part of that. I'm not a fan of that, Donald Trump. Let's get it together, okay? Because there's many videos out there. There's enough videos out there showing you that these numbers are way off. They're fake. There's a lot of videos out there that are false as well, but not all of them are false. All it takes is one out of the 200,000 videos that are online right now. All it takes is one of them to be right, right? And so all the 200,000 videos that are online right now about China epidemic, if one of them is right, then that's all we need, right? Um, but look at South Korea. South Korea at 2,337 now. I mean, what a massive jump from 10 just 2 weeks ago. We were at 10 2 weeks ago. Now we're at two. I think we're at 10, around 10, 15, right? South Korea. Now we're at 2,337. So we're literally starting to add 600, 500 to 700 a day now in the last 48 hours. So yeah, watch out for South Korea. This thing's going to be over 10. If they keep the pace that they're on right now, by this time next week, we're going to be over 10,000 infected in South Korea. And they will have to announce school closures and stuff like that. I don't think they have announced that yet in South Korea. We know that Japan has, and they only have 228. Only have, right? But yet all the nationwide schools are closed. Those numbers are wrong as well for Japan. Hong Kong at 94, give me a break. Schools are closing that in Hong Kong. Hong Kong is probably at 9,000 infected. Singapore probably same thing. U.S. is at around 3 to 5,000 infected, but we only have 60 down here. Germany same thing, maybe 4 to 5,000 infected. Okay, so Iran has been the one that has hit the actual government. Somebody there was some news about that the president Rouhani of Iran was infected by the coronavirus. We have not heard any updated news on that. We know that the vice president of Iran was infected, but we have not heard anything about the president. Yes, the president was around the vice president while during that time period, but we haven't heard anything about that on the mainstream media or the Iranian media. Only Baghdad Today or whatever, Baghdad Post was the only one that made that announcement yesterday. So I'm not gonna post it because that's the only place. I haven't heard anything from the Iraqis or Iranians on that yet, or any of the news stations yet. If it does come out, then we'll talk about it and post it and clear that up. Okay, 36,000 have been recovered, and we know that's fake numbers as well. It could be way more than that that has been recovered. The reinfections are going to be worse than the actual infection. So if you get it the first time, you have a good chance on beating it and recovering. It's that second time. If you get reinfected by it, it's gonna come 10 times worse than the first time. Okay, so that reinfection is what people are going to want to stay away from, because that's what the rate of the reinfection is, like 80% death. So the reinfection comes in and it hits you 10 times harder than it does the first time around. So people need to be really careful. The people that have recovered must be careful, because the second time around is 10 times worse. All right. Um, and I think that's about it. Everything else is, the numbers are fake. We understand that, but this is what we have to go by right now. Look at the deaths in Iran, 34. So Iran doesn't have the medical The Iranians don't even have the medical means to treat this virus at all. 34 deaths, and there's only 338 people that are infected. At least that's the numbers that they've given us. Now, we know this is Iran, and it's probably a lot worse. I just seen some video yesterday, disturbing video of people just bringing body bags to somebody's backyard and literally digging up the ground and placing the body bags inside the backyard, in their backyard. And they're like, "What are you doing? Hey, what are you doing? This is our backyard." And then they call the police on them, and it's like, that's their home. What are you doing in their backyard? But this is the government. This is the mullahs, the government, the evil criminal people. They're just gonna start digging up people's backyards and without their permission and just dumping bodies in there. It's just unbelievable. So I believe that it's way more than 338 people in Iran. It's probably now into the thousands in Iran, because if you need to dig up people's backyards to place bodies in, that's bad. Okay. And so it's probably spreading like wildfire in Iran right now. This is what's going on around the world, guys and girls, and oil prices are getting hammered. And, you know, could we see $25 per barrel in oil in March? It looks like it. It looks like it. The way we're going right now, we're gonna see $25 per barrel in oil. So if you guys are in Zymal and gas, get ready for 5 cents. I said it last night on Patreon. And I did tell the Telegram group as well. If we go down to $25 a barrel for oil, get ready for 5 cents Zymal and gas, and that's where I'm going to be loading up, because as soon as the coronavirus is over, and I believe it'll be literally out of the news by May. I think by May it's out of the news, because Japan needs to get ready for the Olympics, and so they'll get it out of the news by then, in my opinion. And the hot weather will help as well. So they'll get it out of the way. Somebody's going to find a vaccine, or the hot weather is going to take effect and kill it out, or whatever the case may be. But and then Japan will get ready for the Olympics. Um, yeah, so that's what's going on. And but March is going to be chaotic. March is going to be something you've never seen before. All right, you thought February was bad? Get ready for March. Get ready for March. March is going. You need to be praying, because March is going to be insane, right? I am ready for March. I'm putting on the armor of God and the protection of the Yeshua and the Holy Spirit, because March is going to be out of this world. Trust and believe. You ain't seen nothing yet what they have planned for March. Pray for also, by the way, I'm not gonna say. I'm not gonna break any news. I'm gonna let him do it, but pray for Benny. That's all I'm gonna say. Peace out. God bless, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.